Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. Well, it's not Australia Day, but it is here at Cracking the Cryptic because, well, first of all, because we've got a celebration. Wendy sent in a note for her husband Steve, whose birthday it is today. And Simon may have shouted this out already, and I'm not 100% sure that Steve watches my videos, but I hope he does, because we're wishing him a happy birthday today. He's a keen follower of the channel from Perth in Western Australia. Now, I've got a friend visiting Western Australia at the moment, visiting Perth, of course, seeing his wife's family, and he met up with some friends of his wife, and talk turned to Wordle. And my friend, who I know from business and is quite fascinated by what I do, mentioned that I solve Wordle every day on YouTube, and the friends were, but we watch that guy, you know him? My friend claims he got credibility. I think it may have been a slightly different view. Anyway, that's what he said. So I'm delighted by that. And of course, I mean, we've got other fans in Perth. Zach and Katie, I think we've featured before in shout-outs. But also Jim in Sydney, who follows, especially I think, the crossword solves, and shouted out my my hard crossword solves on Patreon. So every month on Patreon, I do the Times Monthly Club Special, which is an insanely arcane crossword. The vocabulary in it is literally unheard of, apart from in the deeper recesses of the dictionary, which I do not allow myself to use. So if you're interested in the cryptic crossword content, do consider joining us on Patreon, where you can also, of course, get the monthly Sudoku hunt, which is April Foolery this month, with some wrong information in each puzzle, some fake news. Do check it out. And the prize, of course, that wonderful cushion cover by Emily Williams. What a star she is. So what a prize that is to consider winning. The hunt is proving more difficult than some of the recent ones, but plenty of people are getting through it and praising it highly. So thank you for that. Now, I got distracted there. We have another Australian correspondent, of course, which is James Kopp. Now, originally, James sent in a puzzle celebrating the Dutch cricket team at one point, and obviously used Dutch whispers, and I madly assumed that he was Dutch. He's not, he's Australian, as he disabused me fairly quickly. And he sent in a puzzle for the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Now, we know about the Sydney Harbour Bridge because long-time friend of the channel, Boo Boo, climbed the Sydney Harbour Bridge and has photographed herself on top of it for us. And this is somebody who couldn't travel much a few years ago, so it's absolutely thrilling that she's got from Massachusetts to Sydney and climbed the bridge. Yeah, she recently, or not recently, but previously sent us a picture from Antarctica. She's an absolute world traveller. So that must be every continent. Well done. Anyway, brilliant times. But also James created this puzzle based on that very same Sydney Harbour Bridge. And you can see the picture of the bridge in the puzzle and Sid. So that's what I'm going to have a go at today. Dutch whispers again, in fact, in the puzzle. But and don't forget, if you like line Sudoku, we've got an app for that. If you like domino Sudoku, we've got an app for that, and Fog of War Sudoku. So check out all the apps in the links under the video. There's also merchandise and SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD. But the first link is to this puzzle, Sydney Harbour Bridge by James Kopp. And the rules are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. That's going to be 1 to 9 in every row, column, and box. I've just realised we've got an alarm going to go off in a moment. We don't want that. 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every box. We've got, along an orange line, adjacent digits have to have a difference of at least 4. Box borders divide the blue lines into segments whose values have the same sum. So the sum of those two is the same as the sum of those two. Different lines can have different sums. The purple line is a set of consecutive digits, not necessarily in order, and 2 digits joined by an X, sum to 10. There we go, those are the rules. Give it a try. I'm going to start now. let's get cracking. So where do we start here? The Renban line is going to be either from 1 to 7, 2 to 8, or 3 to 9. So these digits outside it have to be from 1 to 8 and 9. Might not be very interesting. Let's think about the Dutch whispers, because let's think about this one maybe first. Dutch whispers alternate between high and low. So to have this difference of 4 at least between any two cells along the whisper, you have low, then high, then low, then high. Now there is an exception. If 5 gets into the mix, it could have a 1 on one side and a 9 on the other. However, this D is 6 cells long, so it does alternate high, low, high, low, high, low all the way round. And therefore it doesn't actually have 5 on it, because if 5 is on a line in a box like this, it must have 1 on one side and 9 on the other. And then the alternation wouldn't work. Oh, hang on, look, this line has got an X on, this blue line. So if those two add up to 10, this one is the bigger one, 6, 7, 8 or 9. Now that's going to be useful for the bridge harbour line. This is the smaller one, and this is the difference. I don't know what it is, but it must be even. If that's 6 and 4, this is 2. If it's 7 and 3, it's 4. If it's 8 and 2, the difference is 6. If it's 9 and 1, the difference is 8. Anyway, this is high. This is therefore, well, yes, okay, again we have 6-cell circular whispers. This is going to be the 5, isn't it? I mean, the same principle applies for this D that I was just explaining to this bastion? What do you have on a bridge? Bascule, possibly. I don't know. Anyway, the 5 must go here, because we've now worked out it's not there. So there's our first digit in the box. Now the 5 in this box, again, cannot be on this whisper thing, because it would break up the flow of high and low. So it must now be in one of those cells on this blue line. That is now a high digit, because 5 plus something is going to give high. That's a low one. I don't know that I'm going to keep up this colouring, but let's just see how we go with it for now. Now, along this line, you would think, yeah, it must go low, high, low. You couldn't get 2 5s in there, so you couldn't change the polarity one way and then the other. However, I will have to bear in mind that these low digits I'm marking could actually be a 5. 5 in those two cells would count as a potential low, because it could separate 2 9s. So that's just a little something to be careful of there. I'm going to actually mark it up so I don't forget. This one can't be a 5, because those couldn't both be 1. Now, this is, yeah, we've worked out 5's not on this line, so we can low, high it. And the same here. This is good. This is good. This is going to get us going. And it was worth colouring, which isn't always true in a Dutch whisper puzzle. And you have to be careful, like I said about those 5s. You have to be careful with colouring, because Dutch whispers don't just alternate like German whispers do. Look, these two are both low, so that's a 1-2 pair. And this line is therefore 3 to 9. That can't be a 2 anymore, so this difference isn't between 4 and 6. What else do we know? Not much. These blue lines, they don't seem, oh, that can't be an 8. We have a given digit that I barely spotted yet. This line could have a 5 on it, no bother. Although we've got a 5, so it can't be in those positions. It could be in one of those. We've got an X here. What does that mean? Oh, one of these two is a 4. Because in this box we've got all 4 low digits. In fact, we can do a count and make that one high. So it's 6 or 8. And now this isn't a 3-7 pair. Now that's made this into a 1-2 pair. That's great. So now we've got a 3-4 pair. This digit must be 7 or 6 on the X. But 3 and 4 must be connected by 8 or 9 for the Dutch whisper difference. Okay, that didn't quite finish anything off, did it? This one, I don't know. I mean, I suppose it can't be a 6 because it connects to that. Oh, okay, that was close to producing a result, but didn't really do it. Right, that is high, and it's adding 5 and a low digit, therefore, below it, and that is high, therefore. And now in this row, we've got, oh, that's getting interesting. We've got 3 highs and 2 lows marked in the 5. So in these remaining digits, this is very tempting. This is dangerously tempting. I'm left with 1 high and 2 lows. And it's very tempting to say these are both lows and that's higher. But it might not be the case. You could have 1 low and 1 high there if they were 1 and 9 with a 5 here. And I wonder if that is what's going to happen, just because it's a little bit mischievous. Don't know. Interesting. Where can we get our next? Ah, right. I should alternate colour this D, because oh no, I thought that was going to tell me if these were low, that's a 1-2 pair. And these would be the last 2 highs. I don't know. I can't afford to colour this because of the possibility of 5 turning up in one of these cells and breaking up the alternation. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not sure. Is that a 1-2 pair or are they high instead? I don't know. I can't make that call. I can't rule out any particular low or high digits from any of these cells. I don't know. I feel it's very likely that red is low and yellow is high. Let's not go with that as a theory. We need to do more. Okay, either 3 or 4 must be in these cells because they can't be a 1-2 pair. So this can't be 6. This is 7, 8, or 9. We've got 3 of the high digits on this row, on this pink line. Is it pink or purple? Purple, say the rules. If that was 8 or 9, that would have to be 6. I don't think this is really helping. That can't be high because we've had the 4 highs in the box. So, oh, we've had 5 here. So that is 1 of each. And this is 5 and a low digit. So we've had 2 of each here and a 5. That must be 1 of each. All that is telling me is that is the opposite polarity to that. And that is not information that I was seeking or need or can use. Oh, hang on. I've just had a big old thought. I don't know how it's going to help, but it is a thought. Right, those 6 cells add up to the same as those 6 cells by virtue of the 3 blue lines. That is the effect of each of those adding up to those and those adding up to those and so on. And therefore, if you deduct a box total, we don't even need to know what it is. If you deduct those from the box total, you get that. If you deduct the same number from the box total, you get that. So those 3 and those 3 have the same total. They don't have to be the same digits. In fact, I think that's unlikely, but they have to have the same total. How can I use that? I mean, I know a bit about box 6, where I know there is 1 high and 2 lows here. It doesn't really help yet, does it? It's a nice observation, but it doesn't really help at this stage. Oh, bother. Okay. Now, there are 2 lows in this row. At least 3 or 4 appears here, maybe both of them. I just feel like, am I missing a digit? Am I missing an actual fact that I could compute? I don't know. Do I know what these add up to? That's a thought. If that was a 5, no, I don't really. And I don't think it would help on its own. I don't quite know how to progress. I may have actually handicapped myself by focusing so much on high and low. That might not really be the way to do the puzzle, which is quite a daring thought. Okay, if that was 918 here, you'd know what all of these digits would be. Oh, you've got, I haven't really thought about this. No, that is fine. Or this connection is what I'm talking about here. The sort of orange connection. I've thought about it within boxes, but not so much between boxes, where only on the Y and up here are there connections between boxes. But 8 or 9 is high enough that there is no real problem there. This is the total of those 2. So if they were 5 and 1, that's a 6 and that's a 4. If they're 5 and 2, you've got 7 and 3. 5 and 3 would give 8 and 2. 5 and 4 would give 9 and 1. So one V pair, a 1, 4 or a 2, 3 is used up there. If there were 2 low digits here, they would be another V pair. That's not getting the job done, is it? Gosh, I don't know where we're meant to go. If that was a 4, it would have to be surround. Oh, here. There's an orange line as well as an X between these 2, you muppet. That can't be 4 and 6. Oh, it's blindingly obvious. 8 minutes staring into the abyss, not knowing what I was doing. Sorry. Anyway, here we go. Now, that's going to make a difference. Right, this is 1 or 4. Let's just keep going on the blues over here. 8, 9 I can't resolve there. That's surprising, but that's fine. I mean, they're big digits. But now, that is, that hasn't changed anything. 2, 3, 7. That 1 makes this a 2. These, they can be any big digit they want to be. That is not 4 or 2. It's 1 or 3. 5 is going here with 1, 3 or 4. That is not specific enough. Two can connect with 6, can't it? Okay, come on though. Something must have happened as a result of getting some information. If those were high, they are 7 and 9, and these would be low 1 and 2. That would be a 3. 7, 3, 9, 1, 2. That could be 8 or 6. It still works. How irritating. If that was a 7, these would be 1 and 3. I'm not going anywhere here. Right, this one can't be 5 because of the 8. That's so uninteresting, it's painful. This can't be 8 because of the 8 by Sudoku. Now, if it's 6, this can't be a 5-2 pair, so that's not 7 either. Okay, so we're down to 2 possibilities. If it's a 6, by whisper rules, that would have to be a 1, but this would be 5-1 as well. That would be 2 1s in the box. Oh, that's neat. That is neat, James. So that's a 9. This is now a 5-4 pair. That's a 1, and that's a 3. The 3 can't connect with 6. This is not 9. Come on, let's go somewhere here. 2, 3, 7. Or I can almost add up these three to get the total of those three. I don't know how it's going to help. I just feel like, oh, hang on, 8 is up here somewhere. Look, 8 can't be in those cells. It must be in one of those two. Now I'm interested in the total of these, which include 1 and 2. Oh, and these include 8. Well, hang on, there's not very many possibilities. This is either 128 with 128 also up there, or this is 129, and that would be 813. Goodness me, so 1 is definitely up there. And therefore this is a 1. So climbing the bridge has helped us here. That is a 1 in row 3. And there's either 2 or 3 up here. This can still be 5. That's interesting. Now, these are 1, 2 together with 8 or 9 to get to the total of 11 or 12, which is the same as the total of this. That's really interesting how these sort of struts of the bridge worked in boxes 2 and 5. Anyway, look at that 1, 2, 8, 9 quad. That is going to make this digit a 7 and this one a 6. And we still don't know what that is. Oh, goodness. Where's 9 in this box? It's not in that group of cells. It's got to be there. So that's not 9. If I could rule out 8, then I'd know this would be a 1-9 pair. In fact, what can this be? This is either 1 and 2, or it's 1 and 9. Goodness me, 8 can't be in those cells, therefore. Now, the reason for that, this can't be 9 and 8, because that would break this cell. So that's why I'm saying that. If it's a 1-9 pair, this is 5. If it's a 1-2 pair, though, this could be any high digit, although it does see 8 and 9. So this is now a very weird 5, 6, or 7. This can't be higher, because 9's unavailable and no other digit would be far enough away. So this is lower than 5, 6, or 7, and is 1, 2, or 3. Now, 8 actually is looking at that cell. The given digit is written in black, and it's harder to see than the blue digits. I do not know why, but it is still the case. Right, now one of these is a 9, so they must be a 9-1 pair, linking down on this brilliant Y in Sydney to the 5 there. And that is definitely a 1, and now that's a 2. Oh, it's beautiful. It's so clever, this. Now, let's look up this column. That seems to be a 3. And yes, this totals 12, so this is going to total 12. That is exactly what we're expecting, I think. These don't include 3 now. Now, in this column, we must be able to fill in at least this digit. 9 plus 4 equals a 6, 7 pair. We can fill them all in. Now, that 4 has fixed that and that, 2 and 5. These digits are 3 and 7. I still haven't resolved these 8s and 9s and 4s and 5s and things. Okay, think about these pairs then. What have we got here? 6, 7, 2, 1, 9. We've got 3, 4, 5, and 8 to place. So, can we match? Well, that can't be a 2, 3 pair, because we just wouldn't get to a total we can achieve there. So that's a 2, 7 pair. That's 5, 3. Let's start here. That adds up to 8. That must be 3, 5 out of this pair. Must be. There's no other way. This is now a 4, 8 pair that I may not be able to disambiguate. Oh, I can by going through this 4, 5 pair. There we go. So this, I think I'm probably done with, I don't know, maybe I'm not done with colouring because I've still got this stuff to do. Yeah, no, maybe I'm not at all. But I don't really need colours in these middle columns, so I'm not going to use them. Now that 9 has sorted out the 8 9s that were left. So all of rows 4, 5, 6 are done. Oh, that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good at all. Oh, bother. All of them are done. They're done wrong somehow. Yes, here's what went wrong. I put a 3 there and then filled this in as a 3, 7 pair. That's not helping. Right, this is a different situation now. 5 is sitting there, so let's take 5 out of there. This either adds up to 11 or 12. That's 3, 8 or 4, 8. Let's try this side. It either adds up to 8 or 9. I'm sorry about the error with the 3 pencil marking. 8 or 9. Now, 8 would be 5, 3. That's possible. 9 would have to be 5, 4. That's possible as well. So I don't think this is resolvable. However, 8 comes out of these cells. It's just not available there. 8 is definitely in one of these two. And that's an X-wing on 8s that uses up the 8s for rows 4 and 5. So that's a 9, that's an 8, that's an 8, that's a 9. That 8 takes 8 out of there and puts it here. And now these two have to be different by 3. Yeah, well, they're going to be. And that doesn't fix the rest of the row. That's annoying. Okay, don't know how to do the rest of that. So we'll do something else. We'll look at this row where we've got 5, 2, and 3 to place. Or this row, we need an 8 in row 2. That's got to go there. 3 will be in one of those two cells, so that's not a 3. Now I can place 3 in row 3. That is 6 or 7 by elimination generally. Oh, there's a 9 down on this S somewhere. Okay, let's restore the colours because apparently they're still necessary. Bother. I thought I'd got away from the colouring business. And I absolutely haven't. Right, that's the bit of colouring up to date. 19456. Now, that is 2 or 7. These are from 2, 3, 7, 8. Is that telling me anything? That can't be 8. This is a pair of 1 low and 1 high. No, it's not really telling me anything still. There's a 9 here. What about 5? Don't know about 5. 1, 3, 9, 8, 2, 6, 5. Oh, goodness. That can't be 5. 1, 9, 4, 5, 6. These were from 2, 3, 7, 8. So, okay. We can't actually put a 1 on this line anyway. So we can't change polarity. Although we could end in a 5 here, although we can't now because that couldn't be next to 2, 3, or 7. So there is no 5 on this line. There's a 5 in one of those two cells. And this line does alternate, and I can at least colour it up with random colours until I can work out which way it goes. Maybe this column, I don't know, no, it doesn't tell me. Does this one, if these were low, they would be 2 and 4. This can't be a 4. Because it couldn't be next to any of those digits. That's not interesting enough. Because this could be a 4. Oh, bother. These are from 1, 4, 5, 6. In fact, there is a 1 here. That's quite interesting. Because that means this S doesn't have a 1 on. And it must have either 4 or 6 on it. 4 and 6 only have 2 possible neighbours each. And 6 cannot neighbour a 1. Oh, they could go in this cell. No, they can't. 4 and 6 can't. Oh, 6 could join to 2 there. Bother! And 4 could join to 9 in one of those. Oh, that almost works out how the alternation goes, but it doesn't quite do it. This digit is 2, 6, or 7. I'm just seeing that given what's in the column and row, and it can't be a 5. If that was a 6, this would have to be a 1, 2 pair. In fact, one of these two is a 1 by Sudoku. So we now know that red is low. Good. And yellow is high. And that was what I was expecting, annoyingly. But never mind. These are from 1, 3, 4, and one of them is definitely a 1. Now, that is definitely high, 6 or 7. This is low again, 2, 3, or 4. 4 won't work with either 6 or 7. So that's 2 or 3. 4 won't work here either. If 4 is there, we get 8 and 9 placed. 1, 3, 9, 4. Oh, look, I've got 6, 7 pair. That must be an 8. 2 and 5 still to go in column, whatever I'm in, column 8. This is not 8 or 6, it's 7 or 9. If it's 7, that has to be a 1, 3 pair. And then that could work if it was a 1 at the bottom. Yes, okay. 8, 2, 6, 5, 7. Now, what about this row? Is this getting better? Not really. One of those is a 3. That's not fixing anything for me, I don't think. 8. Do a bit of Sudoku, maybe. 1, 8, 3. There's a 9 in one of those two. Oh, bother. I'm going to actually have to break off at this point. I do apologise. But I actually have, unusually, a doctor's appointment. So I will be back with this in a moment. Nearly done, I feel. Nearly done. Right, sorry about that. Now, where were we? We were approaching closure on the Sydney Harbour Bridge. 183, 83927. 1 and 5. That is 4 or 6. Is it the S or the D that's going to be more helpful? Probably the S. Oh, look, that 8 is pointing up there. 8, that gives me 1 and 9. Now, is that 9 going to be any use? No, I don't think it is. It just tells me there's a 9 in these cells. I still can't do these struts of the bridge. I don't see how that's going to resolve, actually. Maybe I'm missing something there. I think I have to do the S. 2 or 7 there. Yeah. If that was a 2, these would be... No, it doesn't. I was wondering if the difference between the numbers and the Dutch whisper was going to be helpful there. Okay, one of these is a low number. If it was a 4, it must go with a 9. That would be 4 and 9. Oh, this digit can't be 8. Ah, there's only one, of course. Now we've got that 8. There's only one place for 8 in this column. So we get to learn about the high-lowness of the colours. And pink becomes orange and green becomes blue. And these two are low and are a 2-3 pair. And that's a 7 at the top of the grid. And that's not a 7, so we've got a 2-5 pair in box 1 there now. These are from 4, 6, 7 and 9. So that one is a 4 and must be touching a 9. And now that's a 6 and that's a 4. This is a 7 to complete the column. That doesn't tell me about the 2-3 pair, I don't think. Right, but something has happened now. This is a group of 1, 5, 6. 5 and 1. I could colour those 2s and 5s, or I could actually literally colour the low digits I've found since I last did a spate of colouring. Seem to be colouring all the way now. 7 is looking at that digit, 6 there. Now 6 mustn't connect to 3, so we reduce to this situation. That becomes a 2, so that's a 5 apparently. And that's now 6. Oh, it feeds back and forth across the... Presumably we're in Sydney Harbour here. That's 3 or 7. That's 3, 7 or 9. Now, 8 is allowed to touch either 3 or 4. 4 can't touch 7. That's the only forbidden partnership here. That 2 is looking at that cell. So that's going to get a few things done up there. Let's do a little bit of colouring. These two are one odd and one high and one low. And the high is a 9. Yes, that must be 7 in the box. And that's not allowed to touch 4, I said. So it touches 3, and that sorts out 2 and 3. And these are all getting resolved now. They're falling into place. That's a naked 4. This is a 6-7 pair on a deadly pattern with another 6-7 pair up here. That's going to be resolved, I presume, by the struts of the bridge. This is a 2-4 pair. They are resolved. Oh, I can colour it first. They are resolved by the 2 in row 2. This is 9 in the corner. I can probably finish the numbering up here. 3, 6, 7, 2, 4 and 9. There we go. So let's colour for completeness. Oh, I never coloured the given digit. Right, and now hopefully we can somehow resolve these struts. Oh yes, look, a 4 there, that's going to do it. 5 and 3 makes that a 6, and that tidies up the deadly pattern. 7 and 4 and 5, and let's colour up. Is that it? Just 2 cells left to colour. There we go, and this is a 4. And that, oh no, look, I coloured, oh yes, remember I coloured 5 early on? Or I had said that one of those blue cells could include 5. I'd better uncolour it now. And one of them did include 5, and I never really noticed that happening. But it's a good thing I remembered that it was possible. There we go. Brilliant. Brilliant puzzle, James. And I know Boo Boo was delighted with it too. And that is just awesome fun. What a fantastic construction the Sydney Harbour Bridge is. So is this puzzle. 2 fantastic constructions. Thank you for watching us on the channel as always, and really hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.